Good morning.
Goeiemôre.
It's another Thursday, huh? You know what? Less than 1 month left before Christmas.
Yep.
In a month's time from now, everybody will say, "Hey, we're looking forward to Christmas."
No, it would be over then.
No, but everybody would then think about Christmas 2026, because that's how we as humans are. So, I was just thinking about touching a few subjects of what is happening in New Zealand and so forth and so forth. Nothing, not massive breaking news or stuff like that. It's just everyday stuff that I think everybody probably knows about. So we had the OCR, or official cash rate, that has gone down by 0.50, and we all feel it should have been a bit more. Now, when that goes down, that means our CPI, it's big words this morning, eh? Consumer Price Index, or our inflation, has been brought under control. Now, the inflation currently is at 2.2%. So they've lowered the OCR now, and that means whoever has got mortgages and these type of things will have a bit of a relief of paying that 0.50 more. So all the banks are now scrambling, and the banks have been scrambling about the day before already. They are now lowering their rates, because the OCR is not the rate that me and you pay on our mortgage. That's what the banks pay the Reserve Bank, or that rate has been set up by the Reserve Bank at the end of the day. So what we pay must be in line with that. So the banks are now trying to lower their rates to make it more, I won't say affordable, because banks don't like affordable, but more attractive to people. So it's like the honeypot. We're opening the honeypot now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that has happened, and it's actually a good thing. The whole problem with this is, or the way I find the problem is, I think they should have dropped it by at least 1%. From the very beginning, I was saying, if you increase it by 1%, because then you have a short and sharp exit in, or you have a short and sharp recession. And once that has happened, you lower it by 1% again, then you're back nearly in mainstream. But for one or another reason, they reckon they can lower by 0.5 and 0.5. The problem is you have a lagging effect on any of these raises. Although there are cuts now, that you've got a lagging effect, I would roughly say about 4 to 6 months, which people have to pay more. And now that they for them to get back to where they normally were, it takes them 4 to 6 months, even after it has been lowered. So this lagging effect is dragging alongside on the economy and the spendability of people. And we need people to start spending more. And I know this sounds totally wrong coming from anybody, but if you've got a shop, small guy, big guy, Kmart, or the guy on the corner store, you need people to spend money. It's economics. You need people to spend money. You just can't let people walk by and look at your groceries, because some of them has got dates that they are not going to be able to be kept on the shelves anymore. When you need those people to come in and spend money. And I think 4 to 6 months, and I know it's Christmas, and that's Christmas. And this is normally the spending time, and all these shoppers have been clipping their nails and filing their teeth. They're getting ready to take a big chunk of this. But I think it's going to be a bit of a drier Christmas this year. I just think the people that I've spoken to, everybody's going to buy Christmas gifts. They are all going to buy smaller gifts. We had a big meeting the other night in town with a lot of business people, and I just put the question out there: how many people are going away this Christmas? Now that's normally a barometer for me of, you've got extra money to spend. You don't need to be millions, but you've got extra money to spend, because you need to pay for your petrol, you need to pay for your accommodation. It's normally a bit more expensive this time of the year. So about 3 or 4 people out of the group that said there, it was a big group. We were about, let's say, 20 to 30 people. 3 or 4 people put up their hands that they are going away. And that gives you an indication. That's not the total population, but that still gives you an indication of where the spendable money is. So the spendable money this year is going to stay at home, it looks like. So I just hope the people that have got the resorts and those type of places can survive, because it's important for us that they do survive, because it's going to become better. It's not going to become better soon, but it's going to become better. So, all right, did you understand everything?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I sometimes
Whatever.
go so technically that I lose people on this, but yeah, that's just the thing. For me, I just feel don't overspend now. I doubt if the OCR will go up again in the foreseeable future. But don't overspend. Start getting your savings right. And talking about savings, that's a big thing that a lot of South Africans that arrive in New Zealand don't do. People don't have extra money to save. Or they like Kmart so much that, or Kmart and Temu that they can't save. So, but it's important to start saving. And if you don't know how to talk to me, I've got the very, I was one of those people. I lived from paycheck to paycheck. I'll be quite frank. That's my younger days, paycheck to paycheck. At last, 30 Rand could buy a bottle of brandy because that's what brandy cost at that stage. So I had to make a change in my life. And I got to this way that I start saving money. And it started very, very small. And now I can go bigger and bigger and bigger because I've got the mindset is right.
Yeah.
I don't care about whatever. I've got the right mindset to save money because I urgently actually need to save way more than I am currently saving because I want to retire one day. Although I doubt it that'll ever happen. So I'll probably be here at 85. Don't even know where to put on the computer. Oh, by that time, Elon Musk probably have found out something else that just floats around and follows you. And
Yeah.
that's a good idea for him. I should probably sell that idea. So, all right, what did you see happening in New Zealand?
No, well, I didn't do any research about today's topic, so.
A few interesting things that I've been checking up on this last month because I got involved a bit into, not involved, like I got interested in the road buildings of New Zealand, and it really looks like National is pushing ahead a lot of these roads, and it'll be better for everybody in the long run. It's just the quality of the roads that they build. Sometimes I feel it's a bit of a hit and a miss. So yeah, let's just quickly say good morning to Elise Frey from Kaapstad, South Africa. Good morning, Benita. And good morning to everybody else who tuned in this morning. So, yeah, for me, the roads, I find this interesting. They're building this brand new grand road that you can think of, and it's got 3 lanes this side and this, and about a month later, they start working on the road. They just built the thing there, and a month later, they start working on it. I'm talking about specifically the Hamilton Expressway between Hamilton and Auckland.
Oh, yes.
That road opened up, and I think the very next day they started working on it.
Yeah.
And they are still busy working on it. It's been, what, a year, 2 years?
It's really frustrating.
It's frustrating. It's 110 kilometers an hour road. So you think, yes, I'm going to take that road because it's faster. But they slow it down to 70, make it 1 lane, and then nobody knows how to drive. And yeah. So hey, you should join the discussion this morning. Feel free at any time to fall in and say something. Benita just saying, Nicola Willis and Erica Stanford had a business talk last night at North Harbour Stadium. They want people to buy into the vision of the future. I didn't know what that is. I would like to know a bit more, but I'll have a look at that. She's also just saying, sad people have no money. Sadly, too many job losses and business closures. Yeah. Sorry, Benita. I was getting a bit ahead of me with three lanes. Where would New Zealand know how to build 3 lanes?
Yeah, no, he likes to over exaggerate a little bit.
2 lanes. They take 2 lanes. They build 2 lanes. They close 1 so they can work on it again within a few days. So good morning to Zelda as well. The roads that are coming to Tauranga, although it's going to cost a lot of money. I actually I talked to a lady who gave me the figures. It's between $2 to $3 billion that they want to spend down here. But that will improve the infrastructure in Tauranga a lot. It will improve it a lot. It'll take out all the trucks out of the town and just get the trucks going to the harbour and back as good as you can think of.
Yeah.
Morning to Julian. Good morning to Adrina. Yeah, Juliana said it's going for the 3rd year working on that freeway. Yeah, I don't know what they're still doing, because sometimes you drive past, it's just a cone standing there. Probably they rented the cones and they don't know what to do with that.
I don't know.
That could be the other
But
thing.
it's just bad because I remember when we had to go to the airport last year or earlier this year to take my mom back. We drove it was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and the road, when we got to the furthest end, it was closed.
Yeah.
So we had to turn around and take a detour, and we almost missed the flight. So
And there was nothing going on. Nobody was really working.
no. So,
So,
yeah, it is a little bit frustrating. And you don't know that the road's going to be closed. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of the, can I say, the bad gripes we've been living with.
The
It's one of the things
roadworks in
we
New Zealand
complain.
is just,
Yeah.
it's ongoing. I don't think it will ever stop. So it's just something that you have to live with, unfortunately.
So, and on the other hand, I'm trying to establish a connection with a lot of recruiters. And we've got a big audience across all our platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever we are. And I'm really trying to establish something with recruiters. I had a long chat with someone yesterday, trying to recruit into the ECE sector, but also in the SAP technology sector, which I didn't even know. Okay, I didn't know it existed.
I don't know what it is.
So I don't know that specific positions existed, but presumably that is a real job, and they're struggling to get people with it. And the salaries is astronomical. It's absolutely wow.
What is that?
It's something to do with software implementation on a massive scale.
Okay.
Not even a small scale, on a massive scale. So the size of a Kmart or something like that.
Okay.
And if Kmart was international, something like that. So they need somebody who can do that. And they really have got a position there, which is a long-term position. Plus, they've got a heap of money thrown into this because they can't get somebody. So
yeah,
it's always interesting. Especially, I like to see what type of jobs is available. And sometimes I get astounded when I hear about these new jobs and those type of things. So Benita says SAP is huge in SA. Yeah, I know. I've seen that even on the side of buildings, but the specific way of implementation it was mind-boggling what they were trying to do. So sorry, I can't divulge more information on that. It's privileged. So, but this is what I'm trying to do. So if you are a recruiter and you need an outlet for your people or you need people, let us know. We love to make some or another arrangement with each other and see where we can take hands. So yeah.
Get some more South Africans.
That's my thing as well. I like taking money from SARS. I like taking money from SARS. I'm being quite frank. And if I can find you a job this side, I know I've succeeded with one more. So yeah, that's just what we are doing. So in that space. Yeah, but it's been interesting. The weather is good. Let's be quite frank.
Had
the weather,
a few lovely days.
And I've seen
days.
Have you seen the latest forecast for the summer?
No, what?
They say it's going to be a good one.
Okay, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, so those guys coming from Uppington and where's that big place, Messina and so forth, and the Durban people, it's going to be your Christmas this. So yeah.
Last summer was also really nice, but I can feel that this one is going to be. Yesterday was actually, it was 26 degrees, so it was actually really hot.
And the weird thing about, I would say up to a week ago was, if you go out in the mornings and the evenings, the wind that was blowing was cold.
It's nice.
The day was, it was actually chilly.
Oh, I like it like that.
Oh, no.
When the days are hot and
the days was hot, but the evening was really chilly. But for the last week, it's been like an island,
we've had really good weather. And yesterday afternoon, I decided to take the kids down to the swimming pool, and the water was so hot. It was even when it's a heated pool. It was warmer inside than outside. I know. I was so disappointed. I went there to cool down, and then that didn't happen.
I went last night at about what time did I stop working? About 9 or so. It was just as the sun was setting, and there was quite a few older people
Yeah, no.
lying
When we went
down
there as well, all with the sunglasses and the hats on.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it was nice to just float around a little bit.
Benita saying that the Durban people don't like the humidity. Benita, no, you Durban people, you do love the humidity. It's been a complaint from a lot of Durban people to me. They say they can't understand why there's no humidity in this country. So, yeah, longer winters or longer days, better heat, and let's hope for less wind, and that means more fishing.
And remember to make the most of it, because our summer ends. End of mid-March, it turns. So
and then it's the winter again, and then we're looking forward to summer again and Christmas.
That's the way that we go.
That's the way that it happens, right?
Yeah,
that's a short. I think we should do a draw for 2 people to go into a grand prize. Okay. We've got this travel voucher that we're giving away worth $2,000, plus we're giving a few petrol vouchers away as well. So, all right, hang on, let's do it. Okay, let's see where we. I just want to get this thing out of the way. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna do a number now. Number 1, 2, round number 1 and Chantel Brown. Okay, you'll probably want to know if we can use it for fishing. All right, so 1 and Chantel, you in the draw. Let's do another one. It's in the hundreds, 102, 102. Let's see. Ingela could see her. Okay. Do you feel lucky?
Why?
Let's do the third one.
Okay.
Number 315. Number 315. Let's see who is 315 this morning. 315 this morning.
Robert. Oh, it's all dance clients.
Oh. All right. So that was that. That was the draw done for the morning. We'll just pick them off later. We're going to chuck them into a hat and get somebody to draw them early in the new year. So it'll be fun as well. Yeah, what else has happened? Did you guys see about the South African or the Kiwi guy that was shot dead in my old suburb? That's about 2 blocks from where I used to live. It was in Mustard Street. So he visited South Africa. He's probably from there, I would believe.
He visited his dad, yes.
And he visited his parents, and his parents got back from in one city, presumably. That is a shopping mall where they had been to the bank. And they physically got robbed when they got out of the car. So, and he ran out and he tried to stop it, and they just killed him, shot him.
Yeah,
so
sad.
Yeah. So if you are going to South Africa, please stay vigilant. Remember how it was. It hasn't changed. Just keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah.
We don't like people to get hurt or injured. So yeah, it was one of those things. So good morning, Heidi Cooper, saying good morning from the other side.
I noticed that there was a lot happening in politics, but I don't actually know what happened. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that.
The way I understand it, okay, I haven't been living in New Zealand for 400 years. The way I understand it is that, believe it or not, it's a Maori gentleman. He wants a new law into the country, okay? A new law that makes everybody
equal.
And I don't know if they misinterpreted this, or if they didn't read the law, or what has happened, but the Maori Party decided they are doing a haka in the parliament. This was all over the news everywhere in the world, because it's not normal for people to be like that. I know some people say that's the way they do business and so on.
No, it's not.
But it has been criticized worldwide, to be quite frank. So the way that I read the law is that it's one law, same thing for the same people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's why I say I don't know if they misread what it's about and so forth. They're always saying, yeah, it's just against them and that against them. And now this guy, Maori himself, he wants to get this off the...
Okay, but it is something to do with changing the laws that way.
It is something to do with that. And everybody was up in arms, and they took a few walks in town in Wellington and shouted at everybody and stuff like that. So it's about the gist of the thing.
Does it sound familiar to you?
Nah, not at all. We should have taken tires and burned the stuff.
Yeah, the difference between, shall we call it toy in South Africa than in New Zealand is in New Zealand is very organized.
It's got the same ring. South Africa, they call it toy, and here they call it hikoi.
Yeah.
It's very much the same ring.
Yeah.
It's just they missed the mark.
Yeah.
Totally missed the mark. So.
It's very organized. No one... Yeah, it's not violent or anything like that. So
that's probably a good thing. It's not violent. So.
Yeah. No, I just saw that there was a lot happening on the politics side.
Everybody's angry, and I even see there was other race people sharing, and I thought, did you guys not read what the guy was trying to do? I mean,
but isn't that the thing with politics? Everyone just make up their own.
And somewhere along the line, somebody thought, James, this is not going to work for me, and he was probably scaremongered a lot of people into doing this. Not toy, hikoi. So very interesting. So, yeah, that's from a South African perspective. That's the way I see it, and the way the world saw it was a bit different from mine, even. So,
yeah.
Vanita just saying that the New Zealand history is very young. Very young. And the thing is,
it's a few hundred years.
Me, you, my kids, everybody else who are here, we are part of the history. We are making new history as we go along. Yeah. It could be that one of your kids that's a South African, now becoming a Kiwi, becomes the next Elon Musk. It could be. You don't know where. They're going. I just can't see New Zealand putting rockets up there. I know Elon pops some rockets from my island, from my peninsula, but that's done by Americans and stuff. Okay. I just can't see us entering the space race. Have you thought about that? So. Yeah, it's always interesting, especially the fact that what Nita is saying, that everybody arrived here. There was actually some other people living here that was eaten up by the latest or by the earliest arrivals.
I'm not going to that.
I'm going to that. I see it's been told in Parliament these days, the real history of New Zealand. So
yeah,
it's always interesting when one group think they are being done in. And another group thinks
it will always be like that.
It will
always be like that in every single country.
Yeah, it is. So
so
it's always better.
I just think not to worry too much about the politics. I know maybe I'm just a full stress, but the thing is, when we immigrated to New Zealand, I said to Jan, I'm going to that country, and I'm going to make it my home, and nothing is going to put me off about living in New Zealand. So I don't worry about... New Zealand's been very good to me.
Yeah.
And I know that it will be very good to me for the rest of my life. So I'm not going to worry about the small little things that's definitely not even going to make an impact now or in the next 50 years. So
just interesting. Brian says that New Zealand did Rocket Lab. Go check the share price. How can I have a look at that? I don't think we thought that far to do rockets from the country. It's interesting. Yeah, for me, politics has always be an integral part of what I do. It's important to know what politics are doing to you, to people, and it's good and bad. I'm not just only talking bad politics. I'm talking good politics as well.
Yeah.
Other thing is, this country's got a lot of good politics. So I just find it interesting. I love to watch stuff from Parliament in New Zealand. It's civilized fighting on a total different level. So
I don't know. I was in South Africa. I was the same. I'm not interested in the politics because it makes me anxious and it makes me scared and I don't know what. So I didn't go into that. But you can feel what the politics are like by the way that you experience life. And in New Zealand, I don't worry about the politics, but I can feel that I'm looked after and I'm safe. So I really, in South Africa, I didn't know what was going on in the politics, but I didn't feel safe. And my environment was making me anxious. And that is different in New Zealand. So even though I don't always know what's going on in the politics, I can feel what the environment is like. And that is, I think, where the politics comes in.
It is. And politics, and we as people forget that politics, there's people there that we have chosen to be there. I know if you voted Labour, that's probably not your group that's currently running the country, but please don't vote Labour again in the future. But it's all about, you have one person down there, it's your representative down there, and he's got to do certain things. And I sometimes tend to feel that you've chosen somebody to go there, now they are there, now they're doing something totally different.
Now you moan about it.
Now you got to moan about it. You got to moan about it because you sent that guy or girl there, it him, them, or say, you sent them there. You said, I trust you with my vote to go and represent me in Parliament. And if they're doing what they said they have done, because that's why you're giving them the vote. But if they don't do, I think it's our right to complain a bit about that. So, but I do find that people tend to complain about smaller stuff in the country. It's not a huge lot of things that.
And you know what I see, and that's actually really sad. When most people immigrated, same with us. When we immigrated, we said, we are not gonna. These people don't know what it's like to live in a country like South Africa. They moan about stuff that's really not relevant. And you know what happens? You moan about stuff that's not relevant.
So we're a moaning nation.
So I don't go there. I just don't go there.
I'm a moaning nation.
Yeah, but it's really irritating and frustrating when I just wanted to say, listen, you decided to immigrate. You could have immigrated to any other country. You are here now.
No, you couldn't.
Just relax.
You're stuck here now.
Yeah, don't moan about everything. It's much better than it was. So just try to be content a little bit. And,
on a different scale as well, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need dentists.
No. You know what I've heard?
No, I just spoke to somebody yesterday.
There are a lot of doctors and a lot of nurses that needs jobs, and they are not being employed because the government doesn't have money. So it is not about that they aren't.
That's an interesting one. The person I spoke to yesterday had a lot of job openings for dentists.
Okay.
Remember, it's not only government that employs.
No.
So they had a heap of openings for dentists, but they didn't have enough applicants for that.
Yeah, but we need a population of 5 million. We have first world problems like your coffee isn't hot enough. Exactly.
That is sometimes a problem.
Yeah.
Especially if you pay $6 for that. That's crazy. Have you ever watched television when they increase the price of coffee? Now that you talked about coffee, about a year ago, I was watching television just out of boredom because I don't really watch Kiwi news. It's boring. It's real boring. They had this guy go around to ask people. They were putting coffee. It was in Auckland. They were increasing coffee from $6.50 to $7, or from $5.50 to $6 something. It's a 50-cent increase. And he went around and he talked to people about that for probably a good 3 to 5 minutes. And you should hear the people explaining that they probably were. Most of the people actually thought they're going to die. It was that bad. The one lady didn't have enough money at the end of the month left over after this coffee increase.
And you know what? We all say to each other all the time, if you put away all the money that you spend on coffee, takeaway coffees, you would save so much money.
It is.
So it's just it's the way of living in New Zealand. Coffee is big. And I know the coffee is really nice. Everyone says that New Zealand's coffee is the best.
And other thing is, let's face it, coffee is good. In my line of work, I see a lot of people in coffee shops, and I have to buy a lot of coffee. So that's just one of those things that I do. And I find that the price difference between shops is quite interesting. Some shops are rather expensive, and I wonder why this is so expensive, because it's not that much nicer, or even nicer than the previous one. So
yeah.
Vanita is saying, yes, there are plenty of nurses here. They are not up to scratch. Erika is to blame for this. Okay, Vanita, we should have a chat. Then should have a chat with Erika.
Yes. Yeah.
Erika, come here. Let's see what we can do with her. Yeah, it's important that we all get to the end of our journey in a good way. And I probably think that we are all going to need a nurse or a doctor at the end of our journey. So before I reach that point, I would want to have enough of them down here. So that's quite important to me as well. Yeah.
Well, I can say one thing. How the health system works outside of hospitals and doctors' rooms is just absolutely amazing. They are so connected, the system, so that there are people in the community that works for, I suppose, the council or whatever, that knows about everything. There was a knock on the door the other day, and it was a lady looking for my daughter because her son was, we took him to hospital a few weeks ago. And she was just checking in to see still now if everything is okay, and if Benedine needed any help signing up to a doctor's practice or with the kids' immunization and whatever. So, and this is just random.
Yeah.
There are people that do this.
Yeah. And even if you're older and decide to stay in your house, and I actually have to say goodbye already. If you're older and you stay in your house, the way they look after you. We saw it first, and we had the lady across the street from us that was 101 years old. And she nearly every day had a nurse come to her and people who cleaned the house, all from
and they will still complain about it. I was at the swimming pool yesterday, and the old lady with the dog, what's her name? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
She was there talking to Robbie, and she's sick. I don't know what's wrong with her, but I know that she's sick. And a nurse comes to her 3 or 4 times a week, and she was complaining about the nurses that came to see her. And I was thinking, you should be so thankful that a nurse is actually coming to see you and to
have
help
the time
you.
to
But
do that.
they just complain about everything.
Otherwise, we're going to be here next week still, so you're going to say goodbye now.
Okay. Have a good one.
All right, guys, enjoy your weekend, and let's hope the weather lasts like this, and go and catch a few fish. We're off on a camping trip down to Tongariro near Whakapapa, so if you're on that region, we'll probably see you on the road. So, yeah.
Bye.